Hi everyone, it's Ardith, and today I'm here with a woodsy Father's Day shaker card, using some of the newest products from Catherine Pooler Designs. The Father's Day bundle has everything you need to make masculine cards all year long. I started by creating some red cardstock by using Rouge ink direct to paper. This is one of the 4 new colors from the Urban Oasis Spa collection. I don't think I've ever tried to do this on a full panel of cardstock, and after my first couple of swipes, I found that pouncing it down worked better for me. It looks a little blotchy right now, but I'm setting it aside to dry and wait until you see how smooth it is later. Next, I created a card base from white cardstock. This will be the base of my shaker, and I first used the larger wood slice die to mark the area where I wanted the stamped background to be. This die is larger than the one I used to create the shaker opening, so I just needed to stamp in this area. I used my Misty and the Dad stamp from the Hey Mister set. I placed the stamp in the center of the shaker area, and then I picked it up with the Misty door. I cut a small angled mask to go over the A, and I used blackjack ink to stamp the 2 Ds. Then I masked the 2 Ds so I could stamp the A with Rouge ink, and I learned my first valuable lesson. The mask will not stick to the stamp with ink on it, or if the stamp is wet. So this process became a little fiddly and time-consuming, but I'm glad I did it. I offset the word so that it spells Dad going across and down, and I filled the whole shaker area with the stamping. And now that you've seen me do it a couple of times, I won't subject you to the whole thing. And by the way, the second valuable lesson I learned was that if you want to create custom cardstock this way, you'll really need the re-inker. I re-inked my Rouge ink pad right after I finished this card. Once I had all the stamping done, I pulled out the new Plaid background stamp and my Rouge panel. See how smooth it is now that it's dried? I put it in my Misty and I inked it up with blackjack ink, making sure to get really good coverage. I had removed the mouse pad from my Misty and used repositionable tape to stick my panel to the Misty base, so that I could re-stamp and be sure to get perfect placement. Check it out! Remember, this was white cardstock. The ink is smooth and rich, and it matches the rest of my card perfectly. Next, I used the largest stitched rectangle die from the previously released postage stamp set to trim the panel, and I used the solid embossed wood slice die to cut out my shaker opening using my Gemini Junior. I put the excess of the Plaid panel aside to use as a frame on another card. When I placed the Plaid panel on my card base, I noticed a little stamping problem. I thought for a while about what to do because there was no way I was doing all that Dad stamping again, and I decided the best thing was to use the rest of the Plaid panel as a frame. I used my glue runner to attach the frame to my card, and I got ready to start assembling the shaker. First, I attached some acetate to the front panel with my glue runner, and then I started building up foam tape for the back. I doubled it up so that my shaker mix would have lots of room to move around. I cut some narrow pieces for the 2 sides of the shaker and also little triangles so that the sequin mix would be forced to stay in the circle area. My shaker mix is the new Motor City mix from this release. It's so perfectly masculine with black and silver sequins and beads and tiny little star sequins as well. I poured some of it out onto the center of the shaker area, and I flattened them out a bit before removing the release paper from the foam tape and placing the panel down over top. Next, I got out my Misty again, and the 2 pine tree stamps from Wild About You. I stamped them on white cardstock with blackjack ink, and then I cut them out. The tree dies have trunks on them, and the tree stamps are separate from the trunk stamps, so I find it easier to position the trunks once the trees have been die cut. If I tried to position them before I cut them, I might not get them in the right place. To finish the card, I created a sentiment with some of the many words that come with the Hey Mister set. These words include thank, you, happy, birth, day, and they make this set a must-have for making masculine cards all year long. Now be sure to hop to all the videos on the hop and leave a comment for a chance to win. The link to the next video is below in my video description. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up below and subscribe to my channel for even more inspiration. Product links are below and also on my blog. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.